Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we looked at the Adhyaropa and Apavada, correct? Already. Adhyaropa is the deliberate superimposition we do as a means of teaching. It is a teaching tool, you can say, teaching device, because we have to account for whatever we are perceiving. So we are perceiving a world out there. We are perceiving different states like waking, dream, deep sleep. We are perceiving different locus or layers or whatever you can call it, or koshas, where we have the identity. Now, based on all these things, there are different prakriyas are also there, correct? There is something called avasthatraya prakriya. There is a pancha kosha prakriya. Shariratraya prakriya also. 3 shariras we talk about. Otherwise, the pancha koshas can be rolled into 3 shariras. Then we also talk about karana karya prakriya, because for all these things, is there a cause? What is the cause? Because I am perceiving something. Brahman is revealed as the cause of everything by the Shruti. And when we talk about cause, then there has to be a nimitta karana, upadana karana, all that. Both material cause and you can say intelligent cause. Okay. Brahman is presented by the Shruti as both the nimitta and upadana. That's what we call abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Now all this is only adhyaropa, or deliberate superimposition. Then everything is negated. Neha nanasti kinchana, ekameva advitiyam, all these things are all negations. Tattvamasi also is a negation in one way, because the Tattvamasi Vakya we come to understand by actually doing Bhagatyaga. Correct? That's what was presented here as part of the Apavada or negation. When we understand the Tattvamasi Vakya, we give up all the dharmas in both Tat and Tvam. Then the identity is there only in Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanyam alone. Both are pointing to, or both are the Lakshana, or both are indicating only the Shuddha Chaitanya. That is where the identity is. So like this, the Apavada also is done. So without Adhyaropa Apavada, we cannot account for everything and teach you Advaita properly. So the Adhyaropa Apavada itself is the primary methodology, whichever prakriya we may use, correct? Whichever way the Upanishads may teach you, everywhere there is a Adhyaropa is there, then Apavada also is done. That's how we are taught whatever that cannot be objectified. Understand that. Because whatever cannot be objectified can only be taught by negating all the things which you are objectifying. That is the beauty of this methodology, because the eternal subject cannot be taught to you by pointing it out as an object. That is impossible. That which can never be objectified, that which is an aprameya, has to be taught by doing deliberate superimposition to account for everything which you perceive as an object, and then negating all of them as mithya, And whatever remains is Satyam, which is yourself. You can never negate yourself. The negator can never be negated. So that is the basic methodology of teaching Advaita. Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchyate. Like this, there is a saying also. So that's what even in Vedanta Sara, the author is following that. Now you can ask, okay, all this is fine. Adhyaropa apavada, you are saying. But the pramana for us is Shruti, correct? Veda is the pramana. How do you know Veda is teaching Advaita using this Adhyaropa apavada? Correct? How do we know Veda is revealing this or that? How do we come to a conclusion? Because even for one sentence, when many words come together and form a sentence, what is the meaning for that? You can arrive at many meanings. And when many sentences come together, one prakarana is there or whatever, one section or one book is there. How do we know what is the main tatparya or the intention to reveal? What is it? This entire book or entire chapter or entire section, what is revealed there? What is the main thing revealed there? What is the intention there of the book or of the speaker? If somebody is speaking, the vaktuhu tatparyam or the words of the Veda. What is the tatparya? Tatparya means tatparasya bhavaha. Tatpara means what it is intended or what it is mainly focused on. Correct? Paratvam. That tatparya we have to know. Why? Because Shravanam. See, what are the means for us to know this Atma, this Advaita itself? Means Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Samadhi also the author has added. That's okay. But primarily it is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Now in that Shravana is the main thing. Because whatever you are hearing from the Shastra is Shravana. But hearing means it is not like you are just hearing, correct? Some people say you go to some Homa or Veda Patashala, you just listen to the mantra. It is nice to listen. It is all some punya, even just listening to the mantra, etc. No, we are not talking about listening like that. Like you are listening to some music and it produces a certain laya. That is fine. That is only, it may give you some pleasure in some cases, or in some cases it is giving you some other emotions and feelings and all that. It affects your mind. Sound affects your mind. That is there. But we are not talking about that here. So here, Shravanam, listening is what, that also the author is defining, correct? That's where we were, I think. Shravanam nama shadvida lingaihi ashesha vedantanam advitiya vastuni tatparya avadharanam. So, Shravanam is basically being very clear about what the Veda wants to reveal to us, which is nothing but the Advitiya Vastu. So, its intention mainly is to only reveal the Advitiya Vastu, which is yourself. Now, understanding that clearly, that the Vedanta, all the Vedantas are in fact, the entire Veda also we can include like that. Their Tatparya is only to reveal the Advitiya Vastu. Okay, how do you say this? Shadvida Lingaihi, based on the 6 types of indicators. Now, these indicators, in fact, the Uttara Mimamsakas or the Vedanta people did not invent all these things. These are all there in the Mimamsa Karika itself. The Purva Mimamsakas themselves, they have worked out the principles involved in interpreting the Veda. In fact, it's not just the Veda. You can even apply these principles in a very wider context. Anybody who is talking also, Okay, anybody who is talking or any book using these principles, you can arrive at what they are trying to reveal. What is their main contention? Okay, the Shad Lingas. These are very important to know what, because again, even within Vedanta, for us, Vedanta means it's always Advaita, understand? We don't even have to use the Advaita Vedanta adjective also, we don't have to really use. Vedanta means it is, even here the author simply uses Vedantana, correct? But nowadays people say Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta and all that. Those things and all came later. Now what is this Vishishta Advaita, Advaita also? They are also trying to interpret the Shruti, but they are interpreting it differently. Then who is correct? All these problems come. So that means the Tatparya Avadharana is very even more important now. What the Shruti is trying to reveal to us, we have to be very clear about that. That is Shravanam. During Shravanam, you should be very clear what the Shruti is revealing about yourself. Okay. So now what are these lingas? No, Shad lingas he has said. So he is explaining that lingani tu upakrama upasamhara abhyasa purvata phala arthavada upapatyakhyani. So the lingas are 6, correct? They are, with all this they are giving, they are namely what? Upakrama upasamhara. Upakrama upasamhara is normally included as 1. Okay. Beginning and end. How a certain text begins, how it ends. Okay, because normally in our tradition, we always, like even any report nowadays, correct? Even a business report, let us take, there will always be an executive summary in the beginning, correct? Because everybody will not have the time to read everything. So the whatever is important, you have to present first. Or even like when you are drafting a press release and all that, correct? We are all taught how do we draft a press release. The most important thing will come in the beginning, so that whoever is publishing it has the freedom to remove the first paragraph alone. Even if they publish, whatever you want to convey should go there. Rest of the things they can leave out, or if they have space, they can publish the entire press release and all that, correct? That is the principle. We all know that. Similarly, normally what we do is we also give a summary in the end, correct? After presenting all the details, initially executive summary, finally also we summarize whatever are the findings or whatever we want to really convey. So generally that means in the beginning and in the end, there is a certain summary is given of what has to be revealed. Then that is fine. Then abhyasa. So abhyasa means what? What is repeatedly said. That also, because whatever is important or whatever is the main thing you want to convey, that you will be repeating. Okay. So abhyasa is also important. Then apurvata. Now whatever is revealed, this apurvata is specific to Veda, you can take. Normal speech and all that, whatever they say may not reveal something completely which is not available otherwise. Correct. Most speakers only repeat whatever is already known. So here apurvata is specific to Veda. That is because whatever the Veda reveals should be anadhigata. Because normally when we talk about prama or valid knowledge itself, we say that a means of knowledge has to reveal something which is not otherwise available through any other means of knowledge. That is called anadhigatam. Adhigatam means whatever is known. Whatever is known, if you again talk, it is called only, it's a repetition, correct? or you can even recollect it. Then it becomes smriti. It is not prama. It is only a remembrance or memory. So we try to normally distinguish between memory and valid cognition or knowledge. So for a valid cognition, valid knowledge, whatever you are cognizing should not be already known. That is called apurvata. You are knowing something which is unique, which is new. And Veda, if we take Veda as a valid means of knowledge, whatever it is revealing should not be available to you through any other means of knowledge. In fact, that is why I always say, not only me, even my Guruji used to say, what Veda is not scientific. This is one big misconception which is going around all over, that Veda is scientific, Hinduism is scientific. See, what certain things may also be corroborated by scientific studies and all that nowadays. But understand, so our practices may be validated by science. That is okay. But Veda itself, since we look upon it as a means of knowledge, cannot be scientific by its very definition, because it is apurva, right? It is anadigata. Whatever it is revealing is anadigata. Whatever we call science today is nothing but enhanced perception and enhanced inference, you can say, correct? Because we now have microscope, telescope and all that, we can perceive a lot more. And even the inference what we can make, we have sophisticated ways of inferring, you can say, but inference is basically the same. Anyway, so we have enhanced perception and inference. That is what is science. But Veda is counted as a separate means of knowledge other than inference and perception. Okay. Then how can it be scientific? It cannot be by definition, correct? In fact, in the Rig Veda Bhashya Bhumika, our Sayanacharya says, so in so many words, he explicitly says this. Pratyakshena anumityava yastu upayona buddhyate yenam vidanti vedena tasmad vedasya vedata. Veda itself is Veda. Why? Because it is revealing to you something which is not available through pratyaksha or anumana. Okay. So Veda should not be scientific. Then only it is useful to us. If Veda is scientific, then I will rather study science. Why should I study Veda? Like this also people may question. So understand this. All our religious practices are primarily for gaining papa punya, which itself science cannot. In fact, I should not say gaining papa punya, gaining punya and avoiding papa. All our religious practices are for gaining punya and neutralizing or avoiding papa. In the process, if it is helpful, it is healthy practice and all that, that is fine. Science may come and say you don't eat during eclipse. See, recently there was eclipses. Couple of eclipses were there very like within a fortnight or something. And in our tradition, we have this idea that during eclipse, if you touch something, then it is there is a shaucha will come. It's a ritualistic impurity. And in fact, you are not supposed to eat. For solar eclipse, you are not supposed to eat. 12 hours before the eclipse only, you should not eat anything. And during the eclipse, you have to put darbha grass on all the food, cooked food and all that, or generally everything else also, to keep it pure during that period of 12 hours before eclipse and during the eclipse also. And during the eclipse, particularly if you touch anything, any cloth, anything, in fact, it becomes ashaucha. It's not fit for use anymore. In fact, even the clothes you want to wear during the eclipse, you have to keep it separately At the beginning of the eclipse, you take a bath, then you wear those clothes during the eclipse. Don't touch anything else. Sit somewhere, do japam, do your tarpanam, whatever you are supposed to do. Because during eclipse, any karma you do, it is very, very efficacious. Now, all this is said in our Shastra. For lunar eclipse, 9 hours before only you should stop eating. You can only eat after the eclipse. Again, you have to do one snanam. Then only you become pure. Then you can go and cook and eat. Previously cooked food you should not eat after eclipse. All these restrictions are there. Now, science also may come and say later, no, there are radiation is very high during eclipse. So food can get contaminated, means. Then people jump up and down. See, we are scientific and all that. Hey, science is talking about something else. What our Veda or our Dharma Shastra and all that, they talk about purely adrishta. Science is talking about something drishta. So we are only interested in adrishta or punya and avoiding papa and all that. There science has got no role really. So don't conflate the two, because somebody told me, this is the funny thing. Aditya Hridayam, we normally, if you have some problem with your eyes, or if you want to propitiate Surya, correct? Sometimes even in your astrologers, if you go, they'll say that your sun in the horoscope is some problem is there, whatever. Then read Aditya Hridayam. But somebody said, no, Aditya Hridayam you should read only by going outside and standing in the sun. I don't think it is said like that in our tradition. You can sit in your puja room and also read. But anyway, somebody told me that that is because, see, our people were scientific. Because if you stand in the sun, you will get vitamin D. That's why they told you to read Aditya Hridayam. No, this is all ridiculous, correct? You can go and not read Aditya Hridayam. People are also, they are all sunbathing on the beach. They will get vitamin D. In fact, they will also get sunburn also sometimes. If you are not protected, you can get skin cancer. So exposure to the sun is not the main thing. Our vitamin D and all is only periphery. It's not the main thing, correct? Aditya Hridayam we read because we are praying to the Devata, Aditya Devata. We have specific prayers, we have generic prayers and all that. Anyway, I'm digressing too far away. What I want to point out is Apurvata is very important, particularly for Veda. In fact, Veda also, Phalavat also it has to be. That's why Phala is the next indicator. Whatever the Veda reveals cannot be some useless information. See, nowadays, most media is only giving you some useless information, correct? Or some sensational information, which is anyway useless. But Veda is a deliberate means of knowledge. Your sense organs are automatically functioning, correct? And whatever they all reveal may not be useful to you many times. In fact, you don't even want that. You go somewhere which is stinking, we want to close our nose, in fact, because nose anyway reports to you all sorts of smell. You don't want to smell certain things, you close your nose. Or you don't want to hear some, you even put earplugs sometimes because some sounds you don't even want to hear. But sense organs will report everything, whether it is phalavat or not phalavat, you are getting the stimulus. Veda is not like that. It is made up of words. It is deliberate. Therefore, whatever it says, there has to be a phala. And also, we have to identify what is Arthavada. Arthavada means certain things are said figuratively, certain things are said as a praise or as a ninda, as a condemnation. So what is said for the purpose of condemning something, or what is said for the purpose of praising something, all these things also you should be clear. And Upapatti is logic. Because the supporting logic also is given. If something is revealed, some supporting logic for that revelation Of course, that logic need not be always in the sense that you can use the general inference kind of logic, but it is within the within the confines of a particular paradigm, it has to be consistent, correct? That consistency, that logic is upapatti. Some analogies are also given sometimes to make you understand certain things. That's all part of upapatti. So here some people also categorize these lingas as artha linga and shabda linga and all that. So upakrama, upasamhara and this arthavada and all that are all called shabda linga, or abhyasa is shabda linga. Apurvata, phala, upapatti, these are all artha linga, they say. So because certain things, the words themselves indicate certain things, the meaning of the words indicate certain things. Like this, we can even differentiate that. But anyway, we don't have to go up to that level. Now this is said where? This is said in the Mimamsa Vartika. So that he is quoting here. Taduktam upakramopasamharo abhyaso purvata phalam arthavadopapatti cha lingam tatparya nirnaye. Arthavadopapatti is a dual case because they have done samasa here. So this particular verse again is basically repeating the same thing what he said here. This is the Mimamsa Vartika, Purva Mimamsa Vartika. So there they have enumerated all these lingas as the principles which we use to interpret. Now he will talk about each one here. Prakarana pratipadyasya arthasya tad adyantayoho upapadanam upakrama upasamhara. So upakrama upasamhara means what he is saying. Prakarana means one chapter or one section or whatever, correct? Pratipadyasya means that which is revealed by a particular section or a chapter. Arthasya, what is the meaning? What the meaning of the revelation in a particular section? Tad adyantayoho upapadanam. The presentation in the beginning and the end of the whatever is to be revealed in a particular chapter. That is what is called as upakrama upasamhara. Upakrama upasamhara is taken as one linga, like I told you. That's why he is giving it as a compound here. And for that, what is the example he is giving in Chandogya Upanishad? Yatha Chandogya Shashtadhyaye. In the 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad, where Tattvamasi is coming actually, which is the main Upadesha Mahavakya, correct? What is said there? So Prakarana Pratipadyasya Advitiya Vastunaha Ekameva Advitiyam Ityadyav Aitadatmyam Idam Sarvam Ityantecha Pratipadanam. So the 6th chapter itself is one Prakarana. And in that, what is revealed, the main, which is Advitiya Vastu is revealed. The non-dual Vastu, which is yourself. Okay, that is revealed. And that is revealed right in the beginning. Correct? Sadeva Soumya idam agre asit ekameva advitiyam. So ekameva advitiyam comes in the beginning. Then it also comes in the end. 6:2:1 only it comes. And then 6:8:7. You can see number also he has given. Aitadatmyam idam sarvam. All that is there here is only this Atma. Iti anteja pratipadam. So the same thing is said in the beginning and in the end. Okay. So the upakrama upasamhara, now you can understand how it is there in this 6th chapter. You can even do such kind of analysis in other places. So even in Gita, the real Gita we say starts from the 2:11 only. Okay. Where Bhagavan starts teaching. Till then only some context is set. The Arjuna Vishada Yoga, 1st chapter and all is about Arjuna's state. Even in the 2nd chapter beginning, Bhagavan does not start teaching straight away. He is only admonishing Arjuna. Klaibyam Masmagam of Partha and all that, correct? Then he starts the teaching with only Ashocyan Anvashochastvam Prajnavajamscha Bhashase. So Ashocyan, like that it starts. Then the end is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyaha mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha is they do not grieve. And grieve, Ashocyan, that which should not be grieved. It starts with that, it ends like this and all. Sometimes we take that as Upakrama Upasamhara. Gita is about, it's also Moksha Shastra. Basically, it is about you crossing all sorrow, all grief. That is the phala, in fact. Because we say that Atmavit Tarati Shokam. It is also in keeping with the Upanishad. Correct? In Chandogya itself, Atmavit Tarati Shokam is there. In the 8th chapter, Narada goes to Sanat Kumara and he complains. He says, I know so many things. I know all the Veda, I know Rasa Vidya, I know this Vidya, that Vidya. He gives a huge list, but still says, Shochami, Aham Shochami, I am in sorrow. But Bhagavan, he tells Sanat Kumara, I have heard that the one who knows himself crosses all sorrow. So please teach me. So he is going and asking Sanat Kumara about that. Sanat Kumara teaches. It's called Bhuma Vidya. Yovai Bhuma, like that. Bhuma word is used there for Brahman. And so the Bhuma Vidya is a very interesting chapter. Anyway, the point here is, in any prakarana, we can use all these, we can see whether these lingas are. We used to do that, in fact, when we were studying in the Gurukulam, we used to see, whenever we are studying something, we will apply this and see whether all these lingas are there, how they are there, etc. You can try yourself. So, first, Upakrama Upasamhara is given here. Then what? Prakarana Pratipadyasya Vastunaha Tan Madhye Paunah Punyena Padanam Abhyasaha. So, Abhyasaha, repetition is what? In the Prakarana, whatever chapter or book or section, and whatever is to be revealed, is it in the middle, whatever in the middle portion, Tan Madhye Paunah Punyena, again and again, what is revealed? Correct? Is it the same thing which is revealed again and again? And that same thing has been talked about in the beginning and the end also. Then it's a very, very powerful indicator, correct? That is the Abhyasa also we have to see. So now again in the 6th chapter only he says, Yatha Tatraiva. Tatraiva means this Chandogya Shattadhyaye, he already said here, he is referring to that as Tatra here. There only. Like there only what? Advitiya Vastuni Madhye Tattvamasi iti Navakritvaha Pratipadanam. So with reference to that Advaita Vastu only, in the middle also, in the 6th chapter, 9 times Shweta Ketu and Uddalaka are having the conversation, correct? So he start 9 times he is told Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. One Acharya interpreted it as Atatvamasi. I don't know how anybody can do that. Because this is where all this Sanskrit grammar is funny, correct? It lends you for all these things. So Atma Tattvamasi. That's how it comes in the text. Now Atma Tattvamasi, if you take it as a Sandhi is there, then you can separate the Sandhi as Atma Atatvamasi. Or another Acharya said Tattvam is Samasa. They are not Asamastapada. They are not separate words. Tat is one word, Tvam is one word, Asi is another word. Then only you can say it is an equation or a sentence which is pointing to identity. But what if you say Tasya Tvamasi? He said Tattvam is Samasa and it is Shashti Tatpurusha. Tasya Tvamasi. All that also is possible. Then they can also claim, see, we have Abhyasa. But what about Upakrama and Upasamhara? Ekameva advitiyam. How are you going to reconcile this with tasyatvamasi or atatvamasi and all that? You understand now? So there has to be consistency throughout. So Tattvamasi is repeated 9 times. Navakritvaha Pratipadanam, 9 times it is revealed like that. So Abhyasa is also there. Then what? Prakarana Pratipadyasya Advitiya Vastunaha Pramanantara Avishayikaranam Apurvata. So this is what? Whatever is revealed by the Veda should not be available through any other means of knowledge. Pramanantara Avishayikaranam means what? It is not a subject matter for any other means of knowledge. Neither sense organs can reveal, nor inference can reveal. Then we also accept other things like Arthapatti and Upamanam. Correct? And even we have something called that reveals the Abhava. Correct? There's a Pramana. So all these Pramanas, the other 5 Pramanas should not be able to reveal this subject matter. Avishayikaranam. Pramanantara Avishayikaranam Apurvata. So the Advitiya Vastu cannot be revealed by perception or inference or Upamana or Arthapatti or Anupalabdhi. It can only be revealed by the Veda. Therefore, it is Apurvata. That subject matter stands. In fact, Dvaita will not be eligible for Apurvata also. Why? Because everybody knows Dvaita. You go to the road and tell somebody you are God, you are Brahman, he will say, no, I am so and so. I am Murari the barber. Why are you doing all this? Why are you saying I am Narayana? I am not Narayana, I am only Murari the barber. So you don't have to study the Shastra for 12 years to arrive at the same conclusion which is already there, correct? Dvaita is anyway revealing in front of your eyes, it is there. All the sense perception itself is revealing Dvaita, you can say. Then why should the Veda reveal that? So again here, Yatha Tatraiva Advitiya Vastunaha Manantara Avishayikaranam. So even in the whatever the Advitiya Vastu which is revealed by the Chandogya Upanishad, Manantara Avishayikaranam means it is not available. It is not a subject matter for any other means of knowledge. Manantara, some other mana, Pramana, mana and all is same. Here, there is no other means to know that. So it is Apurvata is also fulfilled. Then what? Phalam too, and there has to be a phala. Whatever the Veda is revealing, Tattvamasi, if it is useless, means then you cannot, you have to connect it with something useful. Phalavat Artha Bodhakatvam we say. So even if the Veda says Agni cried, if there is a sentence like this, then you have to connect. Agni cried by itself is not very useful for you. Let Agni cry, how does it matter to me? Means it is coming in some Yajna Prakarana means, then it is said that you should not. Agni cried and it became silver. Like that is there, I think. Okay. So let Agni cry and let it become silver. How is it useful to me? Means since it is coming in a particular Yajna Prakarana, in that Yajna you should not donate, or in general only they say you should not donate silver as Dakshina. Only gold you have to give. Silver you should not give because Agni cried and it became silver. So it is prohibited. Like this Arthavada is all. But anyway, that Phalam also, whatever is revealed should be useful to you. Veda cannot reveal that crows are white in Swarga. Let it be. How does it matter to me? Okay. So here Phalam tu Prakarana Pratipadyasya Atma Jnanasya Tad Anushtanasya va Tatra Shruyamanam Prayojanam. So what is Phala? Atma Jnana. Whatever is is revealed, Atma is revealed as Sadvastu, as Brahman, that Atma Jnanam, or even if some other Atma Jnana you cannot do in Anushtana, but even if something else in the Purva Mimamsa, some iti kartavyata is given, how to do certain things and all that. If you do the Anushtana of that, what is the phala? What is the result? Tatra tatra shruyamanam prayojanam. The prayojana also will be given in the Veda itself. Because many ends also only Veda has to reveal. You will go to Swarga is given as a phala. Swarga also is not available to Pratyaksha or Anumana or anything, correct? In some cases, the phala is known, but still the phala has to be, the connection between the means and the end is not known to you. So Veda only has to tell you, if you do this, you will get this, correct? So the sadhana sadhya, if it is revealed, the sadhya is the prayojana, and it has to be mentioned. And in this case, also it is mentioned, yatha tatra acharyavan purushaha veda tasya tavadeva chiram yavanna vimokshya atha sampatsye. So the Videha Mukti is pointed out here. Also Jivan Mukti also is pointed out. So Acharyavan Purushaha Veda, the one who has the Acharya, this is also very important. Bhashyakara quotes this a lot to show that Guru is necessary. One who has the Guru, Acharya only knows. Acharyavan Purushaha Veda means now he has become a Jnani. But then what? It continues. Jnana Tasya Tavadeva Chiram. Until when means what? Till the time the body is there, he continues as a Jivan Mukta. Then, after the fall of the body, he is completely free. He becomes one with Sadvastu itself. Atha Sampatsye. So, like this, the moksha also is given as a phala. Iti advitiya vastu jnanasya tat praptihi prayojanam shruyate. The prayojana also is shown here. That is moksha. Jnanam gives moksha. In other places also it is talked about, correct? Atmavid tarati shokam. Okay. So you become one with the advitiya vastu, which is ananta also, which is limitless, which is the only sadeva satyam also it says. So you become the satya vastu, one with the satya vastu. That is the phala. Then prakarana pratipadyasya tatra tatra prashamsanam arthavadaha. So he is saying prashamsanam alone is not arthavada. Sometimes it can be even ninda. Okay. That also we have to see what is praised, what is condemned or prohibited and all that. So yatha tatraiva. So even in the 6th chapter again, what uta tam adesham aprakshyah yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avijñatam vijñatam. So the one who has seen, who has understood, correct, this one who gains this knowledge, for him whatever is not heard becomes heard. Whatever you have not thought about, you have now thought about everything. Whatever is not known to you, you have cognized everything, like that. Basically, you become a sarvajñaha, like that it is said here. Okay. Because you know the truth of everything, so it is as well that you know everything. Yena vijñanena sarvam vijñatam bhavati, like that. So this is like a praise, because of course a jnani is called a sarvajñaha, not in the sense of like Ishvara sarvajñatam or sarva vetritvam. Sometimes we say sarvavit and sarvajña, we differentiate, although the meaning is same word wise. So the jnani sarvajñatam is a general sarvajñatam in the sense that jnani understands the truth of everything. Is one, which is Satya Vastu alone, which is myself. That way, Jnani is a Sarvajnaha. But Ishvara Sarvajnatam is goes into the details of everything also. That is a different level of Sarvajnatvam. So here it is praised that even whatever you have never heard of, you have now heard of. As good as you have heard of everything, you have thought about everything, you have known everything like that. Okay. So iti advitiya vastu prashamsanam. The advitiya vastu is praised because by knowing this advitiya vastu, it is as good as you have heard everything, you have thought about everything, and you have known also everything. Then what? Prakarana pratipadya artha sadhane tatra shruyamanaha yuktihi upapattihi. So whatever is being revealed about that, you have to still understand that properly, correct? You may have some doubts and all that. How do I understand this? Means to help you understand that there are certain logic, supporting logic is given, not independent logic. That is called or Shruti Anusara Yukti, we call it. The Yukti or the logic which goes along with what the Shruti says. That is called Upapattihi. It helps you to assimilate or to get. Upapadana means really getting, obtaining and all that. Even in English, the get word is used in the sense of understanding, correct? So whatever helps you in understanding, whatever the Shruti reveals is Upapatti. And what is that? Yatha Tatra. Again, Tatra here is in the Chandogya Shashtadhyaye, similar. What is that? Yatha Saumya Ekena Mritpindena Sarvam Mrinmayam Vijnatam Syat Vacha Rambanam Vikaro Namadheyam Ritika Ityeva Satyam. So, this is beautifully revealed here. What is the analogy given in Chandogya? That even before we said, Garrett, whatever you don't know, it all becomes known and all that. Like you know the nature of the clay. Ekena mritpindena. So even one lump of clay you take and you understand the nature of clay, then you know the entire clay universe, because the entire clay universe is made up of clay alone. Correct? Sarvam rinmayam vijnatam syat. You know everything about the world of clay by knowing the nature of the lump of one clay. Similarly, you know that only Brahman alone is there, correct? Our Sadvastu alone is Satyam. Everything has come from that Sadvastu alone. Know everything as the Sadvastu, which is also yourself. Then everything is known. That's because everything else, whatever you see as something different, is all only names and forms. Vacha Rambanam, it is said. It's all only names and names and names. Namni Namani, like this, my Guruji used to say always. Why? Because anything you take, you say this is a pot. Then you say, no, pot is nothing but clay. Okay. No, clay is nothing but silica molecules. Hey, then what? Molecules are nothing but atoms. Atoms are nothing but electron, proton, neutron, and they are also nothing but some up quark, down quark, and all that. You can go up to subatomic particles. Only three things are there, fundamental building blocks, they say. Even that three becomes one because only Chaitanyam alone is the basis for even all that, correct? So only Namni Namani, you can keep on talking about different names. You say one name, then some other name. It is really some other name, some other name, some other name. Finally, it has to end up only in the observer, who is the conscious being. So it's all only Vacharambanam. It's easier to understand nowadays with all the whatever scientific advancement. It actually helps you to understand Vedanta better. In those days, at least, it would have been even more difficult to understand whatever is presumably a tangible world outside, correct? It's all tangible matter, But now the quantum physics says, what is matter? What is solid, man? It is all 99% space anyway. So the subatomic particles don't occupy anything. Still we are perceiving as though something is solid, something is liquid, something gas and all that. It's all Maya. Understand that. It's all only, it's all really Maya, in fact. So it's all Vacharambanam. It's all only names and forms. Nothing. There is no substance. Only Chaitanyam alone is there. So this also we understand. So this logic is given here. The analogy of the clay pot. In fact, my Guruji used to love this analogy. In fact, he said that this one analogy is good enough for me to teach you the entire Vedanta. And also the Upanishad gives, it talks about a nail cutter and all that. Nail cutter, Nakanakrindanam was there. That means it also shows how advanced our civilization was. They already had nail cutters made up of iron. So a nail cutter is nothing but iron. That analogy also is there. Or even you can say jewelry is nothing but gold and all that. You can extend similar analogies you can give. But basically the idea is this. This is the analogy or the upapatti to make you understand that this sadvastu alone is there, and knowing that sadvastu is good enough. It is like knowing everything. So namadeyam ritika ityeva satyam ityadau advitiya vastu sadhane vikarasya vacharambana matratve yuktihi shruyate. So basically this explains or this establishes the advitiyatvam, because the main contention of people is what? How do I say Advaita or Advitiyam Vastu alone is real? I am seeing all this, means whatever you are seeing is only Vacharambanam. It all starts with name. It's all only name and form. No substance. The only substance is Chaitanyam. So it establishes that, correct? That is the upapatti, that is the logic. Like even the entire clay universe is clay. You may call it pot, whatever, pot or plate or something, or a bowl, etc. But everything is clay alone is the substance there. You remove the clay, there cannot be anything else. Names and forms cannot be there by itself. So that is the yukti. So vikarasya vacharambana matratve. Vikara, any modification, difference and all that is all only vacharambanam. It's all only a name. Nothing more than that. There is no substance. So like this, we have to do Shravanam using all these linga. Now we arrive at the conclusion that Veda is only revealing this Advitiya Vastu, and that Advitiya Vastu is yourself, Tattvamasi, correct? Atma Tattvamasi. And finally it says, Aitad Atmyam Idam Sarvam. This Atma alone is everything. That is the teaching. Because applying the Upapatti, Atma alone is the Satya Vastu. Everything else is only Vacharambanam. They do not really count. That is the Rishi arithmetic. So we have to understand that. So I hope you have understood all these Shad Lingas and how you listen to the Shastra from a Guru and know that the Tatparya of the Shastra is to reveal your very nature as this Sadvastu, which is Ekameva Advitiyam. Rest of the things we'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.